What is up, world? It's your boy Ton, and you are listening to the Wonton Wealth Podcast. Here, I'm going to unravel anything and everything commercial real estate related. And more importantly, we're going to add abundant value. So if you're ready, buckle up your eardrums. So, in the last episode, I gave you a couple of cons and flaws and pitfalls of investing in commercial real estate. But every coin has two sides. So today, we're going to flip that coin and we're going to explore the awesome benefits of why investing in commercial real estate is great. So, buckle up. The first reason why we want to invest in commercial real estate and or any real estate is because of the tangibility and control of it. So unlike stocks or crypto, you're investing in something that's real, not just some imaginary number on your iPhone, your smartphone, or your computer. You can see it, you can touch it, you can smell it, you can kiss it, or if you're into that sort of thing. But the best part about it being physically there is that you are in the driver's seat, from the aesthetics of the property to everything that goes on within the inside of the property. You are holding the reins. If you're a controlaholic, this type of investment is definitely for you. Secondly, and this is probably more so my personal opinion, I think there's less competition in the space. When you're looking at other commercial aspects, like when you're looking at multifamily or other real estate investment vehicles, there's a lot more people that are involved. For example, when I go to meetups that are local to my area, which is Cincinnati, a lot of people are talking about single family. A lot of people are talking about multifamily. They're at different stages of the multifamily world where everybody is trying to attack the same property. They're trying to take down the same type of properties, and they're trying to grow in the same fashion. However, in commercial real estate, I don't see a lot of people that are in there. Once again, commercial being anything non-residential. Any type of businesses, any type of property that are being used for business purposes. Within Cincinnati, I think there's only, a handful of guys that are actually involved in non-residential commercial real estate, myself being one of them. And going to bigger conferences, not a lot of people talk about it either. You get a little bit more of an exposure. That pool is still smaller. So from my perspective, now you get to play in a field where there's less people trying to snatch all the toys. You get to enjoy more time with the toys, and you have more opportunities to do so. Next, I think if you have any inclination of real estate, you're going to understand that there are tax advantages of investing in real estate. We have tons of depreciation, we have deductible expenses, and serious just tax savings in general. If you've heard of the 1031 exchange, people are exchanging up until they die. It's kind of like playing Monopoly with Uncle Sam, but only this time you're the one passing go and collecting all the cash. And there's cost segregations too. There's multiple methods and ways to save money when you're in commercial real estate. And a lot of times there might be a little bit less risk. You have tenants that are business owners versus tenants that are, have a W-2 on a day-to-day job. Just depends on how you look at things. Now, if you're a value-add investor, this next one is going to be phenomenal for you. It's ways for you to force appreciate your properties. Now, if you're buying a property that's undervalued, fantastic. But then you also have properties over here that need a little bit of TLC and undervalued, and or one of the two. So you're not just necessarily boosting your cash returns. You are looking at ways to decrease your expenses as well as increasing rent, and find other methods to increase your NOI. And once you do that, your property increases from an exponential basis, not a linear basis, because commercial real estate is valued based upon the cap rate. So once you increase your NOI and the cap rate of a certain property in the market, that number is going to change drastically. For example, if you increase the NOI by, let's say, $100,000 and the property is at an 8 cap, I think let me get my calculator. Let's see. $100,000 in NOI, if you divide it by an 8 cap, which is 0.08%, you're going to get a valuation of $1.25 million. So by doing that, the property has increased in value dramatically. You just made $1.25 million. Crazy shit, right? Next, we have a property that is also inflation resistant. So what I mean by that is when you are dealing with leases, a lot of times you're already baking in a certain percentage of increase. For example, what I do is I bake in a 3% increase year over year for my tenants. And that is to combat inflation. We're going by historical rates. We're going by rates that, we've seen inflation in the past in order to keep up with that rate. And that's a lot of times that's a win-win for the tenant. They understand that. And they're also locking in a long-term lease. There you go. There's another benefit of commercial real estate. A lot of times you're getting multi-year leases versus just 1 year. Typically, you're going to see leases that are anywhere from 3 years to 30 years. In general, my leases are roughly anywhere from 5 to 10 years or so. And lastly, my favorite aspect of commercial real estate is the creativity behind it. This is where you get to unleash your inner Picasso. You're able to pretty much do anything within legal reason. You're able to structure your leases a certain way that makes it hopefully a win-win for you and the tenant. You're also able to do creative deals within the space. Not just a typical traditional financing purchase where you're bringing 20-25% of the dollars in a bank loan in order to secure the property. You can also do seller financing, loan assumptions. And that's just kind of the surface of it, but there's multiple ways to look at how to skin this deal, how to make sure the deal works for you as well as the seller. And then again, also with the tenant. The sky is the limit when it comes to commercial real estate. Remember that. So there you have it. There's a ton of pros as to why you should invest into commercial real estate, but you kind of have to also weigh the cons of commercial real estate and to figure out whether or not it's something that fits your mold and something that you can run with. And that's a wrap. If you've made it this far, that means you've listened to the entire episode, so thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening from. And if you've learned something or found it useful, share it with one of your homies. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm pretty active on IG. My handle is pro_TANH. Reach out, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, or what you want to hear about in the future. I'm here to tailor this to you. Until next time.